Hi guys, it's Theresa of Larkin Design, and welcome back to part 2 of week 35 in my 2016 Project Life album. This is a part of the series that I am doing for back to school layouts, where I wanted to do one page for each of our children. And I always think back to school layouts are a good time to do this. It's a good time to capture them and what they look like, and sort of, to me, I see them as sort of a love letter to each of our kids. And so yesterday I had shared with you the boys' layouts, and today I'm going to share with you the girls' layouts. I'm working right now on Emberlins, and so I wanted to paint the letters, the chipboard letters, just like I did yesterday. And so I'm doing that. I'm using my Tim Holtz Distress Paints. And after I add a coat of paint, I'm going to add a layer of glossy accents and then let them dry overnight. And then we'll get going on the layout itself. And so Emberlyn this year, she's 11, and she is in 6th grade. And I wanted to just document this for her. So I chose, she had some bright pink and some pretty navy in her dress, and so turquoise is the border color for the layout, and then I used the turquoise for the E as an emphasis color. And you'll see in a minute, I created her layout using the Ali Edwards sheer kit, and I used my digital journal cards that are part of the kit, and then I brought them into Dropbox and then used them in the Project Life app, just like a normal journaling card or photo in the app. And so let's see, there's one that I created by on my own, and it's the yellow one in the center there. That's just a yellow canvas in the letter that I created in the Letter Glow app, with a small white border on the bottom, and then the word art placed in the bottom white portion. So if you missed my Letter Glow tutorial and you're curious about how to make your own journaling cards, just scroll back a little bit in my blog, or feel free to look at that in my video playlist in YouTube as well. And so I'm going to set about to embellish this layout. And I knew I wanted to use this heart. The stamp set itself is from the Heart Story Kit that was in January or February of this year. And so you'll see me playing around trying to figure out how I want to use it, and what I want to do exactly with it. And I know somehow I want some words stamped in between those lines. And I'm playing around with it this way, and this isn't exactly what ends up being used. I'm just getting a feel for how I want to use it. And sometimes you try something and it just doesn't quite look the way that you thought it would. So this is one of those times. I'm just experimenting here. And there, I changed my mind before I glued it down. And then I thought I would just stamp the heart directly onto the yellow journal card. So I'm going to mask it off so that the images of the heart aren't, so that they go off the edges of the journaling card. And I'm going to put 3 on there. All good things come in odd numbers, 3, 5, and 7. Or wait, no, I put 4 on there. Okay. Well, there you go. Alright, I'm also going to put one of these little tab stickers here. I think it says love this or love that. And then I want to add a couple of the chipboard stars to her photo. For some reason, her photos always lend themselves really well to doing something like that in the negative space. I always love how that turns out. So today it's just these simple stars. Because she is a star. So there you go. And then I want to add a couple of word strips across the bottom. I'm going to stamp again on this little horizontal striped journaling card. I have no idea which kit that came from, but they're just irregular lines, and I really like them. So yeah, they work really well for stamping those little word strips on. And then layering with the chipboard. I'm also going to add something here to the gray filler card that's at the bottom. Absolutely, you could just leave it the way it was because it was a complete card, just the way it was. But you guys know by now I love the textures and the dimension that physical products add. So I put in a couple of word strips. And now I'm going to add a couple of enamel dots. I'm going to use these stars from the Chamel collection in between each one of the words. There. I'm also going to sew this little heart paper clip to the layout. I think Allie did this in one of her layouts when that heart kit was released. So I have to credit Allie Edwards, and I am going to, let's see, I'm going to poke the paper so that I can run the thread through, and it'll take me a few minutes here. I'm going to use this twine. And, well, first I had this thicker yarn, and there we go. Yeah, it went through. And then, I'm not using a needle here. I was being lazy and I was being stubborn. So I'm going to run it through there on the one side and secure that down with tape in the back. That's really just to kind of reinforce the paper. And then I'm going to puncture the other side and run that same thread through there and then tie it in a bow on the front. Here's where it takes me a minute to sort of get the thread fed through. That's okay. I do recommend a needle that has a large opening. It makes it a little bit easier. But like I said, I was being a little bit stubborn. But it does eventually. I eventually get it in there and keep on going. And yes, this is absolutely matte photo paper from Persnickety Prints. These layouts were printed through Persnickety, and they are matte photographic prints. And I absolutely am puncturing and threading in photo paper. It's okay to do that. I consider these layouts, they don't have to be permanent. They don't have to be acid-free. They don't have to be these untouchable photos, right? Because I have my backups. I can always have them reprinted if something happens. So I have my backups, and I have the backup photos, and I have the backup layouts. So I don't consider these untouchable. Do what you like to do on these layouts, right? Do what makes your heart happy. So there, that made a cute little bow with that yellow twine. And I'm going to just make sure again that it's sealed in the back. And so, working some more on the layout, I added another word strip underneath the happy. I think that one says brave girl or brave heart or something like that. And so, let's see. This is the next day. That was a fast night. And my letters are nice and dry and they're ready to adhere down. So just a little bit of adhesive there. The E had adhesive on the back, but it was really loose, so I just added my own tape there. And I overlapped that so that it would connect with the 11. So there you go. You don't have to keep things confined into one little space. And then I'm going to just write a little bit of journaling here. Write my little love note to her. Here's where I added a couple of the word strips to the hearts that I had stamped. And then this layout will be done. And in just a minute, I will share Natalie's layout. I'm going to add a date stamp. I added that same date stamp to the others, so that shows in the final photos. All right. Moving on to Natalie's. Now, on Natalie's layout, I didn't paint the letter and the number. They are the Allie Edwards alphabets that are available in her shop. And I just left those black and white the way that they are for a nice little contrast there. And so for Natalie, I'm using the Read Kit to create the layout in the Project Life app. I used my digital elements from the Read Kit. And then the chipboard is also from Read. And then the stamp set, too, will be from the Read Kit. The one thing I like to do when I know I'm going to be working with a particular stamp set and I already have it picked out, I like to go ahead and figure out where on the layout I want to do my stamping, what stamps I want to use, where I have a spot for them, and go ahead and lay them down there, and then I know that I have to do that, or that that's something that I want to do. I find for me personally, it helps me use my supplies more and helps me use my stamp sets more. If I don't do that at the beginning of the layout, then I forget that I have the stamp set. So there you go. For her layout, I did the stamped image on her photo and then a chipboard word strip, and then I'm also adhering some acrylic hearts. These hearts have come at various points in time from the Gossamer Blue kits. So if you wonder where I get those from, and I just keep those I keep my embellishments that I get from Gossamer Blue every month. I keep those on my desk, so they're always nearby, just to use whenever I feel like using them. That's another thing that I do to help me use those things and get them in my albums. So the photos of Natalie here they're actually from the first day of school, since she had a different open house, and she actually is the only one that we drop off in the mornings. So I took a quick photo of her before we left the house that morning, and then I also took a quick photo in the car when we got to school. A good song was playing on the radio, and she totally felt like having a dance party, and she was excited, and she was happy to be going to school. And so I journaled about that too. We had a little dance party in the car, waiting in the car line. So that was awesome. All right, I'm going to adhere my number and my letter N, and I'm going to add these little chipboard numbers. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't do a lot of lists on my scrapbooks, and so I thought it would give me an opportunity to use these since she's going into 4th grade, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to represent her going into 4th grade. They also add a nice little pop of color right there on that card. And then the other thing I'm going to do is add some word strips to that blank space next to the N. And this layout will be complete. And so thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. There's also a blog post that accompanies this video. So if you want to find out more information, then go and check that out at larkindesign.squarespace.com. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.